What an opening night. End-to-end action in North London between Arsenal and Lyon. Barcelona putting on a show against Bayern, and debutants Leuven rallying from 2 goals down against Paris FC. Welcome into the studio, everybody. Welcome into our Women's Champions League coverage. I'm your host, Hanny Cash, sat alongside Kelly O'Hara, Darian Jenkins and Janelli Farias. Lovely to sit alongside you, ladies. Let's start by talking about the Bayern-Barcelona game, because it ended at 7-1. I knew we all thought Barcelona were going to come into this game all guns blazing, but that was a bit much.
I did not expect that from Bayern. Honestly, I expected so much more, especially from Georgia Stanway and Caruso in that midfield. I thought they'd be able to do a little bit more against Barcelona's awesome trio. But they didn't come out to play today. And when the first goal comes and second goal, third goal conceded, they just gave up.
They did. And you saw it in the 6th or 7th goal, whichever one was the transition goal that Barcelona was able to score.
So many.
No, I really did. I don't know which one it was, because you saw it in that. Barcelona goes on a transition and Bayern isn't tracking back. There's not every single person on that field is on a sprint. Granted, you're down how many goals, but at that point, that's about pride. That's about
trying to stop the bleeding.
Exactly. You have to. And if I was any of those players who were behind the ball on that, I would be fuming about the rest of my team not getting back. But to me, that goal and what happened and how Bayern looked on that goal in terms of their recovery was the definition of their game today. And it's unacceptable if I'm Bayern.
Oh, I'm wondering even what their game plan was in this, because with Barcelona, you either have to be pressing, suffocating, make them have to adjust their build out. Leave it to a transition, you can recover, or sit into a low block. If you're not going to be a team that compete in possession, which there's probably maybe one other team in the world that can, sit off of them. And they looked caught between two worlds, and Barcelona absolutely alleviated any concerns we had about them in this tournament.
Yeah, I agree with you. They didn't decide. It wasn't clear what their game plan was, and also when you look at all of their faces, they're just they all look defeated.
Yeah.
And there wasn't one player out there leading the team, and it's when you're down so many goals, you need somebody to lead the team to change that energy. And also consider this is a long tournament. Goals matter, goal differentials matter, and they're going to be really upset about this match looking forward into this tournament.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, is that it doesn't. Okay, 4-1. That's better than 7-1. You have to think big picture, long term. Yes, you had a bad game, but don't let it become a terrible, potentially season-ending game for them from right out of the jump.
Well, that's where even managerial-wise, the tactics of why are you still trying to be stretched and these massive gaps between the lines, and Barcelona can already play when it's very tight. They're going to be able to break you down. Why wasn't there an adjustment earlier on? No one's helping the team out, and you're right. I think they were really missing Vanessa Gilles in the back line to try to lead them.
Vanessa, where are you?
Come on, Vanessa, come back. Yeah. But at least to get something off of a set piece, there wasn't anything that felt threatening.
Okay, so there were 8 goals in this game. We're going to be taking a look at all 8 of them. Let's get into these highlights. There was a goal for Barcelona very early on in the 4th minute by Alexia Putellas.
Yeah, Barcelona here doing what they do best. We know that combination play in the final third is what separates them from other teams. Aitana Bonmatí there on the ball. Just a nightmare for Bayern. Nobody stepping, and Alexia Putellas doing what she does best. That left foot just puts it in the back of the net. Wow.
Yeah, brilliant finish by Putellas. I mean, this is where I think the bleeding truly started.
It really is.
You felt that Barcelona just had it.
Bayern said, what are we about to do about that?
And then it wasn't long after, Iwa Payor off of a corner, just look at the pick on the back post. Paredes wraps around her defender, squares it across, hits the crossbar, but no one's following Payor. And a brilliant finish by her to put this away, keep it low. Still, you wonder with the defending, what's going wrong this early in the match.
And here's the thing. As it became 2-0, Bayern said, all right, we're not going to try to play out of the back. We're going to go long. But it doesn't matter. Barcelona jumped all over it. They smothered them. They pick up the ball, loose ball in the middle of the field, play a little pass in between in their midfield, find Alexia Putellas, and then she finds Brutes, and Brutes just puts it away. And there's nothing that Bayern can do about it here. Barcelona's just making an absolute meal of them.
Yeah, and then Aitana Bonmatí, anytime she gets on the ball, she's great. Something dangerous is going to happen there, and Parayuelo just doing what she does best, getting the ball in the back of the net.
Then in the 56th minute, it went 5-1 up. We had a goal from Barcelona from Iwa Payor.
Yeah, her second of the night, and it's, of course, Alexia Putellas again, but just playing out of the back. Bayern not able to find anybody. The high press, Putellas puts this over, and it's Payot with some individual brilliance, and then slots it for the fifth goal of the night, and still not the last, unfortunately, for Barcelona, because the youngsters came in and made their mark.
And here's the goal that I was talking about. You have Barcelona on the transition. Look at all of the Bayern players. If you are not on a dead sprint right now, what are you doing, Bayern? You need to be hauling back, making sure there's time. They could have prevented this goal, but they do not. Barcelona has so much time and space in the box, and they put it away, making it 6-1 on the day. Bayern, again, what are we doing? Where's the fight? Where's the desire?
It was left at 4-1.
And then Claudia Pina getting on the scoreboard again twice, and she came off the bench at minute 56. What amazing it is for Barcelona to have that luxury, to have two young players come off the bench, connect, and then get themselves on the scoreboard, not just once, but twice. I think that speaks volumes of what Barcelona can offer. Earlier in the show, I said that, these young players are going to struggle. They're lacking that experience going forward. But looking at what they did in this game, I think I was wrong.
Yeah, I think they alleviated any worry that we had. I mean, if you're going to put your trust into the younger academy players, the younger players for Barcelona, this is who you're relying on.
Yeah, 5 goal scorers, 7 goals for Barcelona. That's all the time we have because we've gone through all the goals. No, I'm only joking. 7 goals, though, absolutely crazy. Like I said at the start, Barcelona were coming into this game on heat, and they clearly showed that today.
Absolutely. I mean, Barcelona is such an incredible and fun team to watch, and they showed us that today. But also, they had a bite to them, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And Bayern's a good team. They have really good players on their team. So to see Barcelona basically say, we're just going to have our way. Like this, there's nothing you can do that is going to stop us. And it's just, I can't stop laughing, honestly. I'm surprised that we have a 7-1 scoreline from this first game between these two teams.
Yeah, Barcelona just hammered them. I mean, 21 shots, 12 on target. And I think what we saw in that goal that you're referring to, where no one's tracking back, no one's really taking responsibility, they looked exhausted. I mean, especially when you're playing a team that has dominant possession, you're constantly late, you're constantly tracking, you're trying to cover for each other. It just looked like they lost the spirit of the game in this. And Bayern's been my dark horse. You know what? Goal differential is really tough, but I think they can come back. Yeah, they're still my dark horse. I think that they're going to be able to come back. The league phase, I think, gives a little bit of that wiggle room in a way. The 7 goals is brutal. They need to show out in the next few games. They have a rough schedule, but this is a team that I think when they get their players back and healthy, Vanessa Gilles focusing on set piece, fixing their tactics, that's what let them down today in the first half. It was their tactics. I'm going to say they can come back from it.
Sometimes you need a punch in the face like this to have a bounce back, to have a wake-up call. It can happen in an international tournament, right? You open your group stage and you lose if you're expected to win. Not that Bayern was expected to win today, but you have a bad loss. And a lot of people think, you lose your first game of a major tournament and it might be over. But in reality, it's exactly the wake-up call that the team needs to say, all right, what are we doing? How do we fix this? How do we want to go forward? And maybe that will be the case for Bayern. But my concern is, for you guys that have chosen them as your dark horse, which I thought about it and I'm glad I didn't. But to have them as your dark horse, it's tough because how do you bet? They're going to have to claw their way back in goal differential, in my opinion.
I think for Bayern is how do you make such a drastic shift? You need a leader on the team. And we've seen what Georgia Stanway can do in the Bundesliga. And I think she's great. When she's in the top of her game, everything goes to her offensively and defensively. But if she or somebody doesn't step up into that role, they're really going to struggle. But I think this is where Vanessa Gilles can come into play and be that energy that they need, be that positivity that they're going to need going forward. Because we all know it's very difficult to lose 7-1 and then look forward to your next game. It's like, oh man, I got to play again. Like it's hard. But if you have that capacity to switch and be resilient, you can come back and make a difference.
I think another player we didn't get to talk about because she was hardly on the ball tonight, but is Pernille Harder. She
was non-existent.
Non-existent because her team didn't have possession of the ball. The way she's going to be able to affect the game, make Barcelona have to adjust, have to defend, go 1v1 is when you get her in those spaces and she has opportunities. And they didn't have that tonight. And so, yes, I think the leadership, yes, I think there's a lot that needs to change. They need to score a lot of goals moving forward. But it's really coming down to the tactics, because how would you feel confident? How do you even get on the ball when they don't match what the game plan is asking for?
Bayern scored 1 goal tonight, goal scorer being Clara Buell. Here's what she had to say after the game.
Was there anything tonight from Barcelona that you hadn't seen before, hadn't prepared for? Or is this the kind of game that you thought you would get?
Yeah, I think we thought that the game will look like that. Of course, it was really hard. We thought that we could have maybe a bit more the ball, that we had our own actions to get to the goal, to get some chances. But yeah, I think this night it's really, really tough. They played a great game. They created a lot of chances, and we were just, a bit passive. Every time we were too late. I think this was one, thing that we were not good enough.
Can I ask, when you say a bit passive, do you often play rivals with that speed of movement of the ball and coordination? Because I suspect probably Bayern doesn't play that often. Yeah,
that's true. I think this is Champions League, and that's the good thing about it, that you have opponents. They're great. They're the highest level, and of course we want to play these games, but in a different way. But I think that's why we have to reflect on it. We have to take the right solutions out of it, and then prepare for the next game and show a different face.
But Bayern scored. Was it a sweet moment for you?
Yeah, it was cool. I think we get a bit fresh air with the goal. We hoped for maybe a second chance for a second goal before halftime, but of course it is difficult in Champions League. It is difficult against those opponents. This is stuff we know, and I think if we want to compete with them, we have to step up, and this is what we want to do in the next game.
We appreciate you speaking to UEFA. Good luck next game.
Thank you.
Thank you, Clara.
Clara Buell, only goal scorer. What were your thoughts on her interview?
She said they were a bit passive.
Yeah.
They were really passive the entire game.
I mean, what a way to handle that interview after a 7-1 loss. I don't think I would be that graceful. I don't think I would have been that graceful, let alone done it. But yeah, passive was a very nice way to say they didn't show up today against Barcelona when you expect Barcelona to come out that way.
Yeah, definitely. Okay then, everybody, after this short break, we're going to be talking Arsenal-Lyon and the night in North London that saw Lyon win 2-1. We've got more on that next. Player of the match for Lyon and the whole game, Melchi Demornay, scoring the 2 goals for Lyon, getting her second career Women's Champions League brace. What a finish there. Lyon winning 2-1 against Arsenal in North London tonight. We're going to be talking all about that game, hopefully touching in with Anita Jones because she was there too. Taking a look at this graphic, Melchi Demornay, her second career brace, got 90 minutes in, 2 goals, 7 shots and 4 of those on target. A great night for her.
She was incredible from minute one. Honestly, her press, winning the ball back, and that finish. The first one was a gift, let's be honest, but the finish for the second, the one touch to set herself up, second, Van Domselaar was nowhere near it. For me, she was by far the best player on the pitch. What a night she had.
Yeah, I think making another case for herself why she should have been ahead in the Ballon d'Or. But I love this for her, starting off strong. Not only can she play up top, she plays in the middle of the pitch at that 10 position, sometimes when Lyon switches things around. And she deserves all of her flowers because I think she led this team when everyone was looking for someone to score or just put things into the attack.
Yeah, I agree. I think that her position, is she better as a 9? Is she better as a 10? I think tonight it was like, well, if you get a brace, I think 10's your spot moving forward.
She's everywhere. She was even dropping almost in front of the back 4 to pick up the ball and spraying passes out wide. And that's a top player, you know, when you can pretty much play anywhere in the park, whether it's number 9, in the 10 or in the 6. She's such a huge asset for Lyon.
Yeah, Lyon looked really good going forward as well. To keep the 2-1 win for the last 45 minutes was really good for them.
Yeah, I think that shows a lot of growth.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, last year this team, well, mind you, it was the first leg that they won, and they lost the second leg. But I think showing that they can adapt even when they're ahead, they don't have to keep attacking. It showed really good tactical awareness for Lyon, dropping off. Jonah Heraldez knows how to win this. You can be patient. You don't always have to attack. And I think the style of play that they have and the superstars that they have on this team all knew they had multiple leaders in every line on the pitch, and it was a joy to watch.
As we said, Anita Jones was at the game. We're going to be welcoming Lindsay Heaps. Lindsay, thank you so much for joining us. How are you?
I'm great. It's great to see you all.
Excuse me. Sorry.
I'm looking up there. Okay, sorry.
Linz, can you hear us?
Yeah, I'm sure she can.
Yeah, Kepi.
Hey, girl. We got some questions for you. Darren, you want to go first?
I'll go. We're going to go big picture
first.
We're going big picture first, Lynn. So good to see you. Congrats on the win. I wanted to ask, just thinking about the semifinal last year, taking the loss to Arsenal in the second leg, how much motivation did that give you guys going into the match today?
Yeah, I mean, it's a different year. It's a new season, and we know it's a great team. They go out and win the Champions League last year, but we're also a new team, new season for us. I think we had it in the back of our head. It's a little extra motivation, but I think we wanted to go do our thing and play our game, and I think we did that tonight.
Linz, I got to ask, you were instrumental in the second goal on the press, stepping in on Caldente and winning that ball, and then obviously Dumane was able to put it away. But is that something that you guys spoke about before the game? Is that something that you wanted to focus on? Was press part of the game plan for y'all tonight?
Yeah, I think Jonah even said it right before the game. I think we knew with our press, with the players that we have, with the front three especially, if we can go win the ball early and put them through, we're gonna create chances, we're gonna score goals. So I think that was a big thing for us, and we wanted to continue to do it throughout the game. We created a lot of opportunities. I think we could have scored more, but yeah, it was a major thing for us.
Lindsay, it seemed so apparent to me that your connection with Trader is so strong, even from early on in a season. Can you give us a bit of an insight how that's been, having another American on the side when it comes to connection and flow of football, when there's some's dropping in or some's going loud? It just seemed like it flowed.
Yeah, I think actually early in the game we were sitting with one, and as soon as we made the adjustment, bringing Corbs back down and having two pivots, it helped so much in the game. And like you said, I think with both Americans here, it's nice. You play with them in the national team. You have that bit of connection, but they're footballers as well, so it's really easy for me to play and know what they want and their tendencies. You learn that very early on with good players like them.
Linz, I want to ask about Jonah Heraldez. Obviously, you've played against him in this tournament with Barcelona. He's very accustomed to winning this. What has he brought to your team, even just early on this season so far?
I could say so many things. Honestly, he's incredible. He's one of the best coaches that I've had in such a little time. Being under him. I think the attention to detail, but also just teaching. I'm a veteran, and I'm not going to say I'm old yet, but the fact that I can keep learning and growing as a player, and thinking differently, thinking about the game differently, tactics, etc. I think that's what we all want. All of us, footballers, we just want to keep learning and growing. So the fact that he can bring that and bring something else to this team is incredible. And we learn something new every single day, and we can go out and change a tactic in the first few minutes of this game, and it changes the whole game for us. So he's been great for us, and yeah, we're very happy to have him.
Linz, talk to us about this new format and it being a league phase. How are you guys approaching this differently than years past?
First off, hi Kepi, love you.
I love you too.
I think it's great. I think when I watched the men's format, obviously last year they started it off. At first, I was a little bit hesitant because you view the Champions League at the group stage, and you know how it works, and that's just kind of how I am. But then you see so many top class games, and you see early on games where the top teams are playing against each other. So you see the first round of us playing against Arsenal. It's a top game, and I think that's what the viewers want, and I think, for us players as well, you want to play against the best team. So I think it's making it more difficult. It's a more competitive format, and it's great too, because every match matters, goals matter, and you'll see the table at the end, and you look at all the other results, and you're competing against everyone. It's not just a group. So I think it's cool. It's a special format, so we got to keep going and keep winning.
Lindsay, I know you know Darian and Kelly quite well, just from US Women's National Team stuff. Have you got any fun stories about them? Anything we should know?
We don't have to go
I think I roomed with Lindsay when I was like 17.
Hey,
I was
good
terrified.
stories, baby.
Lindsay, keep it together.
Kelly's nervous. Kelly's nervous.
Lindsay, you can just...
Cappy's really nervous, huh?
Lindsay, how much do you miss me? Come on now. Let's hear it.
The one thing I'll say about Kelly is, like, her mentality is something that's always stuck with me. I'm going to say a positive note. So anytime I step on the pitch, or especially with the national team, I want to have that same mentality. She's a winner. She's a fighter. And yeah, she'll do anything for the team. So I think that's a really special thing about that girl, and we want to continue having that in the U.S., and I'll always keep it inside me. So.
Lindsay, also.
You're sweet, Linz. I love you, girl.
Linz, hopefully
Congrats.
we'll interview you again and you can have a little more ammo.
But she's
on
crazy.
Kel.
She's crazy.
We don't need that. Okay, cut. The interview's
Also,
over.
I've got to give credit where credit's due. You had a great game, but also I'm loving your nails. They're looking great.
They're always on point.
They look great.
I can't hear you.
Oh, she can't hear anything.
She did show the nails.
Well, you'll have to text her telling her
Lost them.
she got great nails. Lovely interview there. Girls, let's just quickly talk a bit more about the game. How impressed were you by Lindsay today?
Oh, massively. And that's why I wanted to ask her about her connection with Corbin Schrader. I thought that the balance that they have in the midfield, we talk a lot about the best teams and the balance of wingers coming inside, forwards overlapping. The midfield, I thought, were absolutely brilliant. And even the players coming off the bench, Lily Lyonnes, okay, maybe would have wanted more minutes. But I also thought what Lindsay was saying about the manager, one of the best managers she's ever worked in such a short space of time. I think we can all agree that's so impressive to say that after not many sessions, not many games, and that goes to show his quality, because you need that manager when you're dealing with that amount of talent and rotations and top international players that want to play every single minute. So I thought they were so impressive as a team. I thought their patterns of play were brilliant, and I thought they absolutely dominated midfield, and Lindsay Heaps was at the heart of it.
She absolutely was, but also Lindsay's a veteran, like a very decorated veteran. Like I remember going to junior or youth national team camps with her, and I thought, my God, that is a woman amongst girls, the way that she played. And I think we were 17, 18 years old. So she's been in this game a long time, and to still have influence from a new coach just a couple months in and say she's still learning and growing in her game is really fun to hear. And also the younger players around her, the Americans that we're saying that is a part of this midfield, it's so fun to watch them just grow under her. I think just being able to train with someone like her day in, day out, you're seeing a Corbin Schrader, a Lily Lyonnes really get the best out of these players because they get to watch it in training every day.
Yeah, it's extremely high praise for the new manager coming from Lindsay Heaps. And I think my initial thought from that is, oh my God, they have that kind of talent, and then you're going to combine that kind of coach him coming from Barcelona. He obviously had a short stint at Washington Spirit, but you bring him in and what this team can become because of who they have on the roster and what he's been able to do, even that short amount of time to have that kind of impact. That's insane. But I mean, Lindsay, one of my favorite players to ever play with, so that was fun to get to interview her. I think that's the first time I got to do that.
No,
so
that was lovely.
cute.
It was nice, like throwing it back. Also, welcome back, Jen. We
Thank
weren't
you.
Sorry, you were on comms with Chris Whittingham. How was it? You done great.
Quick sprint. I've never ran so fast to get here quick enough after the show, but no, I loved it. I think it was so fun being on the pre-show, and what a game. I think the intensity was there. I feel like I had to take quite a few breaths in the sort of opening 15-20 minutes. I was trying to keep up with it, but that's what we love, these big head-to-heads early on in the tournament. That's why we're all tuned in and so excited for it to kick off. And it gave us, I think, everything we wanted out of that game. I think we saw the better team won, in my opinion, but no, I loved calling it.
What were your thoughts on Arsenal?
I thought they played into Lyon's hand, if I'm honest. I thought Lyon's pressure was incredible. Talking about a top manager, getting a team on board and organised. they looked like every single player on the pitch knew what they were doing in terms of the press. They knew they were trying to play it out Steph Catley's side and suck them in and keep them onto that side. For me, Arsenal just kept playing into that. They kept trying to play through their midfield, and I think they could have gone long, created space a little bit more, brought Blackstenius into the game a little bit earlier, in my opinion, to be honest.
I agree.
Allowed to stretch it. So for me, they got caught playing out the back multiple times, and you can't do that in European football against the top sides, especially when you've got De Mornay, one of the best pressers in the game, ready to hunt and ready to be on the front foot, and Arsenal just kept playing into it.
Was it the first or second goal for Lyon where we saw Arsenal play out the back and they got the goal?
First goal. I mean, both were kind of playing out at the back.
Yeah, first was definitely a mistake, right? It was a mishit by the keeper, but second goal was similar in that she played right into their midfield. Lindsay Heaps was able to jump on that, read it so well, gets the ball forward, and then it's, good night for Arsenal.
I would argue that that's a mistake that Arsenal made last season as well.
I agree.
It
looked like the same team.
Yeah. Look, you don't we spoke about it. You don't have the head-to-heads home and away in this way. You play a team once, and you either get it right or you don't. And I think Arsenal came back from Real Madrid. They came back from Lyon. This was the exact same scoreline, if I'm right, at the Emirates, and then they went and won 4-1 away, if I'm correct. But they don't have that opportunity, and for me, you're not going to have that time to turn it around. And they kept playing, and they weren't adaptable, and they've made a couple of mistakes like that in the WSL, brought it into the European game in this championship, and it's just a really difficult place to be in if you keep playing the same way.
Do you think that they got the lineup right? Because they made multiple changes from what they...
I liked their front line, if I'm honest. I liked the rotations of having Chloe Kelly and Bethany come on the inside, but they missed Olivia Smith massively.
100%.
Her
they missed a lot of flair.
Physicality as well for me. She was drawing fouls. I think they could have had a lot more runs in behind and creating that more space for Manum and Caldente to get on the ball. But for me, I think they missed, to answer your question, Olivia Smith in the lineup for me was a big miss, and she impacted it straight away when she came off the bench.
Okay. Well, Anita Jones got to speak to Emily Fox after the game, so here's what she had to say.
Emily, it's never easy speaking after a defeat. What are your immediate thoughts?
Yeah, I think overall the last few games have been tough for us. So I think with this game, I think we started strong. I think the 2 goals were again a bit disappointing, and we were able to get that 1 goal, but again, disappointing that we didn't get the tie and get the win in general.
What do you put the last few performances down to?
It's not one thing. It's not one person. It's a collective. I think collectively we haven't been good enough. We haven't been clinical, and I think all of us take that responsibility and that weight. I think with this game there was some positives in terms of defensive unity and things like that, but overall, again, we didn't win and we got scored on. So I think, again, reflect. We have more games, game on Sunday and then another Champions League game. So all we can do is reflect and then move forward.
Was there a sense of excitement having that pressure being the defending champions, or what was the feeling amongst the group before the game?
Yeah, excitement. Playing Lyon isn't easy. We knew having a home crowd, that could be an advantage to us. And again, it's a privilege to have that pressure. And I think with us, we wanted to come out strong, make a statement, especially with the last few games. So again, we're frustrated and we know that we need to do better.
Like Jen, what Emily said, there is a pressure going on their backs going into this tournament, isn't there, just from last year?
Yeah, but that's what success comes with, right? You made a great point. You made a great point before the show. It's the hardest thing to win this kind of competition. It's even harder to do it again. And look, listening to Emily Fox speak there, she seems so deflated, and I think that's the hardest point. They've come off the back of 2 draws and 2 losses back to back. That is not the norm for an Arsenal locker room. So it's going to be difficult this next little spell, but they have to bounce back from it and have to remember that you played up against a team that got knocked out in the semi-final by you. They were coming for you, and that's all. They've come up against a really top side, and this is where you need leaders. We spoke about it again earlier in the show. Kim Little, Leah Williamson, even if she's injured, she's still going to be arm around you, solving solutions, and they're the kind of people you need.
Yeah, I talked earlier in the show that they're going to have some material to look back on, just watching film from this match, the mistakes that they made. you're right. I think they handed Lyon the match. It was very simple things of just playing out of the back, which they happen. But it seems like after this mistake in particular, Arsenal were just deflated. And I think Lyon pounced on this. I mean, Melchi Dumoulin had a second chance, puts it away, they tie it up. But I wanted to see that the veterans, the reigning champions mentality where you don't let these things happen. You don't play into the press. Look at the numbers that Lyon had loaded forward on that clip. I mean, I think I've talked a lot today about tactics, but it just seemed like this almost seems like a game that Chelsea would have played last year, where the tactics didn't line up. They didn't change enough to alter the game. Did you feel that, Jen?
I did, but watching back these clips, it's the morning that's almost at the heart of absolutely everything. And when you do have a player like that, it puts you in a favour. Of course, you go into high press with a team with a player like De Mornay in it. But no, I totally agree with what you're saying. I think they played into it much more than what they're used to. And I think you can do that in the WSL. You can do that. And teams against you might not be as clinical. You might be able to make a couple of mistakes, but you can get away with it. You can't do that in the Champions League. That's why we all love it. It's the best teams involved and you're coming up against the best opponents.
Yeah, and you can't do that against teams like Lyon, who are favourites to win this competition. OK, then, everybody, we're going to be taking a look at more of the 3 p.m. at kickoff action after this short break, so stay tuned. Earlier on, we saw Juventus taking on Benfica. Juventus scored in the 86th minute, making it 2-1.
Yeah, I thought Benfica had a little bit more to offer in this game, but Juventus they came in to win it, and that connection between Bonansea and Salvai getting braced for this game, huge for her.
My dark horse looking good.
We love to see that.
And Janelli's not.
OK, taking a look now at Paris FC taking on OH Leuven. Their first time ever in the Women's Champions League. They got an equaliser in the 62nd minute to make it 2-2.
Yeah, Sarah Pustahi just bringing this down, cutting inside her defender, and whipping this far post. I mean, a brilliant finish, and shout out to Leuven!
Yes.
Welcome to the Champions League!
Welcome is right.
It was a day of first, obviously their first day in the Women's Champions League. They got the draw. That's a good result for them against Paris FC because they're contenders in this competition. They're the first ever Belgian club to reach the Group League phase, and obviously their first goal scorer is getting 2 goals in the game. A huge game for OH Leuven. Look at the fans there. Everyone's happy after that draw.
I love this guy's little dance in the upper right. No, this is. I've seen.
I got him.
You see him? Yeah, the ladies clapping next to him.
Where's Waldo?
I love this for Leuven. I think this is why, especially on the women's side, we're so excited about the expanded league phase, because you get teams like this, you get players getting their first goals, their first starts in a Champions League. This is what you dream of. Mm-hmm. And for them to walk away with a point is massive.
Listen, Leuven's looking better than Bayern Munich right now. They're looking way better. All right, they are looking better than Bayern Munich. They got a point on the table, on the board. They should feel great. They should be celebrating. They should be dancing, and you love to see it. Like you said, Darren, this is what it's all about. It's so fun, and I'm excited for this side.
Well, there's always a team that kind of has your heart early on. I think last year it was Hacken for me, and I think I'm Leuven.
But it's because you like saying it.
This might be an upset
I do
for
love
Paris
saying
FC,
it.
no?
Yeah, I do think it's an upset.
I think
Paris
they were
FC
expecting to win this game.
100%. I think it's on them. They should have come into this dominating this. They're familiar with this tournament, but
It's going to play against them in this tournament.
That's again what the league phase makes it so interesting is that Paris FC will look back and say, "What if?"
They lost that Wednesday.
Definitely. OK, everyone, we've got Anita Jones. She was at the Arsenal game. We're going to be checking in with her. Hi, Anita. Lovely to see you. What were your thoughts on the game?
Looks like now. Go on.
Well, I think Arsenal were probably lucky to have only lost by 2-1 when you look at just how dominant Lyon were at the start. It's unfortunate that they're having these individual errors. I did ask Renee, the Arsenal manager, about that, and she said that she feels things just aren't quite clicking. It's part of a bigger context because they're now winless in their last 4 across all competitions. I asked her how she's handling that. Of course, she came into the club during quite a turbulent time, so she's not, I guess, a stranger to trying to stay steady as ship, but this is obviously a new challenge for her. And she says she's just trying to keep calm, go back to basics. And it wasn't a case of just like individual errors from one player. It felt like it was more of a collective. They obviously have a chance to regroup and they go again in the WSL at the weekend.
Anita, we know you got to talk to player of the match, player of my heart. I think she's fantastic. Melchi de Molnay. What did she say about, first of all, her performance individually, but how Lyon is under Joana Heraldes?
Yeah, I asked Melchi if there was a tinge of revenge in their veins, you know, having lost against Arsenal in the semi-finals last season. She said there was an element of that, but at the end of the day, they came here to play their game and they knew how tough Arsenal would be as an opposition. She, of course, took advantage of two individual errors, and she said it's just great to be able to chip in and help with the overall collective performance. I think it's very clear why she could be one of your favourite players, Darian, because she was incredible, but they just have so many talented players on that team, and the great thing is we're going to get to see them through this league phase before it starts to get even tougher when it gets to the knockout stages.
Anita, being on ground there, is there anything that you can tell us or anything that you saw that you think could be a key to Arsenal righting the ship? You know, obviously they've been struggling in league play. They now come in and lose this game at home against Lyon. Is there anything that you saw that, you know, you could pinpoint or something that needs to change?
I also spoke to Emily, of course, US women's national team player. She pointed to individual errors and just, I guess, the sense of frustration. We obviously saw at the start of the season they managed to get a couple of wins under their belt, but then it just seemed like that wasn't sustainable, especially when you looked at the type of opposition and the results they were getting. You think of the likes of Aston Villa or Manchester United. It feels like they may need to go to the drawing board, as Renee said, and really just have a look at things and how they try to get back to basics. They came into this game with a huge target on their back, being the defending champion. So, of course, Lyon are going to have more to fight for, but in terms of what it is, I couldn't pinpoint it, but you do feel amongst the players that they know something isn't right.
Lovely, thank you very much, Anita. Lovely speaking to you. I'm sure we'll be seeing you on match day too.
Thank you, see you.
Okay, everybody, we're going to be talking Ballon d'Or after this short break, talking everything about the ceremony that we saw a couple of weeks ago happen in France.